Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. Some of you were asking how to do a case study analysis or needed a refresher. Remember that case study analysis is a way for us to take apart something we're watching or reading and to apply our vocabulary terms and think geographically. So what I have pulled up on the screen for you is the video we watched in class and the case study analysis format form. So to start with on this form, we would simply put in the title. So in this case, Google Maps is changing Rio. Then we need a main idea. A lot of times, remember, we don't know what the theme or main idea is until we're done reading the article or watching the video. So I would hold off filling in this section. Next, as we watch the video, it asks us to fill in key geographic vocabulary. Consider vocabulary from class that you can use intelligently to discuss the video. Now, we're early in the school year, so you may not have had a chance to look at your KBAT or really understand what some of that vocabulary is yet. That's okay. What you can do instead is make a list of vocabulary from the video that maybe you haven't heard before or that you're not familiar with, and then go back later on and add classroom vocabulary as needed. But next it asks you, back this up some, next it asks you to put in some details, examples, and things relating to the main idea of the video. This is where you jot down notes. Just quick little reminders so you remember what the video was about. Not full sentences, not huge amounts of detail, just enough that you can kind of remember. And finally, you're going to write a conclusion, a connection. What's a question you still have? What's a thought? How did you link this to class? What's an idea you have? Those are the kind of things that go there. This helps make it more relevant to you for later. It gives you a what next kind of thing. So this is the video we watched in class. It's about 4.5 minutes long by the time you get done with the openings and closings. I'm not going to run the whole video again. I am going to remind you that as we watched it, they did talk about how he was in a favela, and a lot of students wrote that word in because they had no idea what a favela is. They also wrote in a NGO, which we found out later is a this helps if I can type again, government organization. Some students then realized that we were talking about participatory mapping. Participatory mapping. We noticed that they were using GIS and GPS in order to do the mapping and added those to our terms. You may have others that you added or didn't add. That's okay. The idea is to watch and see how can we start using and applying vocabulary in a way that's useful and relevant. Now, some of the kids, when they were writing this and watching the video, noticed that it was done by the locals with the support of Afro Reggae. They noticed that, and I misspelled that. They noticed that some of the businesses, it's hard to talk and type at the same time, did not like the idea at first. Later they did. They saw increase in money and business. And so you would just continue to take your notes in this area. My final thought on this, when you're done, you would, like I said, you go back, you put in your main idea. I think in class we discussed things like how locals can change the view of their area, how mapping can be done by anyone. It's not restricted to just a cartographer. We had a lot of different ideas, so figure out what yours is. For conclusion, what connections, thoughts, or concerns do you have? When you think about those business people, what are some thoughts that cross your head? When you think about this process and how they used, my first thought was, what else can or has this been used for? That was my question. You may have your own. We will be doing a lot of case study analyses throughout the year. These become your examples that you'll be able to use on your tests when you do your FRQs. They also help you see how things are used and applied on a normal basis. So make sure that when you're asked to do these, that you do follow the steps and fill it in to the best of your ability. Some of the videos will be very short. Some of them will take significantly longer. You may have a lot of vocabulary on one video and not so much on the next, and that's okay. Just make sure you're putting in as much as you can that makes sense and is relevant, and you're not trying to fluff your way through it. you have any other questions, let me know, and I hope this helped.